It's hard to imagine. As of this video, it has now been 5 years since Watch Me Suck at Bowling has graced YouTube. This is the show, for the most part, has given international attention to the game of candlepin bowling, as well as duckpin. We are here where it all began, 5 years ago. It's now time to start the show that most bowlers love, and most professionals in any genre hate. It's now time to Watch Me Suck at Bowling. Welcome to November's edition of Watch Me Suck at Bowling, coming to you from where it all started 5 years ago, with no improvement. Mason Bowling Center, Leominster, Massachusetts. Also home to the introductory video every year of Watch Me Suck at Mini Golf from the mini golf course over there. But we're here to celebrate 5 years of bowling. Sometimes we got lucky. Usually we do alright. But how will things go? We're going to find out. Hoping that we will be able to get in a triple for the first game and then a single game for the last 3 weeks for this month. Anyway, before we get going, and if I have time, I'll sprinkle in some stuff in between games. Here are the highs and lows as of now, if somebody's beeping. In the land of the candlepins, high single 142, done at New Palace. The low of 44, guess where that was done? Land of the Ducks. High score of 147 at Collins Bowladrome. The low of 58, done at North Chelmsford Lanes. Having the pin cam in the lane was not a good idea. Once it was moved, everything was golden. And then the land of the 10 pins. 161 is the high single there. And the low of 26 is an actual number. Trying to do the Jason Belmonte at Weymouth, and it did not work. Those are the highs and lows as of now. And time to get situated indoors. Watch Me Suck at Bowling is a proud sponsor of the hit TV candlepin show King of the Palace. Watch talented professional and league bowlers show their stuff instead of watching this crap. To watch episodes of King of the Palace, simply go to YouTube and search for King of the Palace. If you want to subscribe to the show, go to youtube.com/newpalacelanes. If you didn't know this by watching my live streams from here after the pandemic, they have fixed up the pin plates. The action here at Mason's is a lot better. Remember how we used to get a whole ton of bad leaves, and I would say, welcome to Mason's? Ever wonder where that came from? When you walk in the front door, this banner is staring at you right in your face as the dual automatic image stabilizers are fighting me there. Welcome to Mason's. That's where that comes from. Anyway, we're bowling on lane 7, and I don't think the underlight is working, but the regular lights are so bright, who cares? Anyway, this is the very lane 5 years ago that Watch Me Suck at Bowling debuted. So, I don't know if I'll do something a little bit special. But then again, the idea I'm thinking of is probably going to really mess up my game. So I'm not going to do it. I was thinking the first game of this triple, we'll bowl the old-fashioned way with a balance, which the camera was used as. But like I said, that's probably going to really mess things up. So we're bowling where the show started. And we didn't have these till the third week at Harvard Lanes. That's another thing that'll probably be brought up. Anyway, they're pretty beat up, but they're my Epco urethane bowling balls. Like I said, third month at Harvard Lanes. These made their debut in a much shinier, more shiny, more glorified Anyway, 3 games for the first week. And that being said, before going into it, I have not been bowling for a couple of weeks. 1 week, I had to do stuff, get caught up on things. 2nd week, I had to buy new shoes for work. It cost a ton of money. Guess what money that came from? So here we are, 3 weeks in. Let's see how bad things are. Because it's now time for those famous words you've been waiting for and been hearing for 5 years now. It's now time to watch me suck at 3 games of bowling. Game 1, frame 1, ball 1. If it looks weird, that's because I'm on a tall platform. We're about 9 inches above, so I have to duck down like this to be comfortable. 2 weeks, we haven't bowled. This will be interesting. Ball 2. Ball 3, still having that right problem from the live streams. Well, not that time. We got ourselves a 10. And for those of you who like pin setters, here's the bowl more. Pretty much just clearing some wood. And there you go. Frame 2, ball 1. No good. For that, we have to reset. Ball 2. If a foul ball takes out pins on a full rack, you are allowed to reset. Going for the Emily. Nothing in ball 1, all in 2. Ball 3. Looks like we're getting a lousy 6. I've been away, so that might be part of the problem. We got a 10 and 1, and a 6 and 2. So far we're at 16, which is alright. Frame 3, ball 1. Ball 2. Ball 3. The train derails with 7. Frame 4, ball 1. Ball 2, the Caleri. Am I pointing at the right one? There it is, Caleri. It's hard to see with the little viewfinder. Let's see if I can get rid of him. Ball 3, since pins were down, we have to take the penalty on that. Best we can do is 9. Six minus 1, that's a 5. Yep, the magic has completely disappeared. We got a 7 and 3 and a lousy 5 and 4. We're only at 28, so this game's automatically garbage. Frame 5, ball 1. Like I said, 5 years and nothing to show for it. Ball 2. If I can control it, should be an easy spare. Ball 3. Remember who tried. And there's the first I wish it was ball 2 moment with a 10. Frame 6, ball 1. Ball 2. Ball 3. You know what that says. Since the ball hit the wood, that made it fair. The 10 stands. Those 2 frames were pretty good. Got a pair of 10s. We're now up to 58. Third 10 in a row, and we get a microwave turkey dinner. Frame 7, ball 1. Ball 2. Ball 3. Two head on, that's a 7. Frame 8 of a train wreck, ball 1. Ball 2, the king stands alone. Ball 3, king still stands alone. You couldn't put a piece of paper between the ball and that kid. King remains for the 9. Well, bottom end of average is still good, or possible. We'll get to that in a second. We got a 7 and 7, and a 9 and 8. We're at 64. According to ICBA data on casual league bowlers, they typically average around 90, give or take 10 points, which the fluctuation is. So 80 to 100 is good. Of course, 100 or more than good. Let's continue. Frame 9, ball 1, we need at least 16. Ball 2, that piece of wood had to be too far out. I can see people calling me wood player, but that's spare. Good. Plan B. Last frame, ball 1. El Stinko, the bonus ball. What will the bonus be? The first balls haven't been too bad lately. Now that I said that, I probably jinxed it. Barely behind the lob line. Crappy leave. El Stinko stinks for that. The 7 fill ain't too bad. Ball 2. Ball 3. Again, just barely behind. just avoided a curse of the fill with a minimal acceptance of 8 off of a mark. And that will be game 1. That spare in frame 9 pretty much saved the game. Although I think we would have been fine anyway. You got that spare in 9, like I said, and at 8 and 10, the first ball knocking down 7. Yeah, I think either way it would have been an 82 or an 89. Either way, it's a good first game. I don't think that we're going to have a new high triple. The 325 will stand for this episode. But in episodes 2, 3, and 4, who knows? Let's start game number 2. Before we get to the second game, I thought I'd like to share some little-known, very obscure facts about Watch Me Suck at Bowling. The show was only meant to have been a candlepin show, and the only place it was going to be shot at was Mason's. Hard to believe, wasn't it? But that was initially how it was planned to have been done. After the first show was on YouTube and shared on Facebook, my friend Dave Madela, who owns New Palace Lanes, told me that he would offer up his place to be the new home for Watch Me Suck at Bowling. That is the same place that King of the Palace was shot at as well. And after playing a few times, noticing how the action was much easier there, that was going to be a thing. When the 3rd month came around, New Palace wasn't going to be open. So it was then shot at Harvard Lanes because it was on the way home from work. And the concept of touring the show became a thing. And that's when we started going all around Massachusetts and some parts of New Hampshire. The international audience wanted to see what would be considered here regular bowling, or big ball bowling, or as everybody else calls it, 10-pin, or just plain bowling, since that's what they're familiar with. And not very far afterwards, it was added. Since duck pin was also a thing in this area, I decided to add that as well. And so all 3 disciplines are shown. Candlepin is much heavier on this because I want to get good at candlepin, or good enough. So, to keep the game from getting messed up too badly, duck pins and 10 pins are limited, but they are done. Believe it or not, the idea of Watch Me Suck at Bowling sponsoring King of the Palace along with their main sponsor North End Mazda Subaru was initially nothing more than just a funny joke. After bowling at his place before King of the Palace was going to start, he was talking about how he wished he had more sponsors, and then I just jokingly said that, hey, if I had the money, maybe Watch Me Suck at Bowling could sponsor it too, and it was all just a joke. But Dave said he would do it, which surprised me. So then I called his bluff by then continuing to have a banner made. Then I presented it to him online, and he liked it. Then ultimately showed up, gave him the sponsorship money. He hung up the banner, and Watch Me Suck at Bowling has been a proud sponsor ever since. This came literally from the first few seconds of King of the Palace starting when Watch Me Suck at Bowling started to become a second sponsor. This was also the first and only month that I was not there during the recording of their shows. I'm usually in the background where you can't see me. Every once in a while you might see me going up and down the stairs or going across, but it was very rare. But ever since then, we've sponsored the show. Now, time for lesser bowling and time to head to game number 2. Game 2, frame 1, ball 1. Ball 2, they're getting a bit lofty, but they're still behind the line. Ball 3, close, but Yeah, we're going to start with a 9er. Frame 2, ball 1. Ball 2. It's still tougher, but you can see the action's better. Ball 3. And we junked that one with 5. Well, it's worse. 9 and 1, 5 and 2. We've got a 14. Frame 3, ball 1. Ball 2, narrow leaves, how I hate thee. Ball 3, not a bad shot. Typical watch me suck fashion there. Kingpin for now. Frame 4, ball 1. Ball 2, horrible, horrible leaf, but that piece of wood made it better. Ball 3, better than the 5 frame from the previous game. Got the 9. Those 2 frames went way better than in game 1. A pair of 9s for 32. Now we're 4 points above the previous. Frame 5, ball 1. Ball 2, this game is junk. You know what to say, it's right there. Ball 3, worst frame ever so far? Yep, why do well when we can get a 3? Frame 6, ball 1. The train once again came off the tracks. Ball 2. Thank goodness I threw a little early. That would have sailed over the line. Ball 3. The bowling god, telling us we should never have returned. And that's me telling the bowling god what I think of them. It's another 10. This may be the day the strike streak has died. I plan on doing a live stream after this, so it may not have died at that point. We got a lovely 3 and 5, then a 10 and 6. We're 1 point above my low score here at Mason's with 45. Frame 7, ball 1. I typically don't have my phone in my right pocket. It was there. It's sometimes just that, which ruins things. Ball 2, I see how it's going to go. Good balls, garbage leaves. Ball 3. It also helps if I didn't slug. Seven to pretty much sink the ship. Frame 8, ball 1. Welcome to Masons! Ball 2. Exactly what I just said. This place is screwing me over. Ball 3, I need to hit the Starlight 5. This game is officially junk with 5. As you can see, the magic has died. A 7 and 7 and a 5 and 8 because we can't do better than the last game. 57, so this game's junk unless we mark. Frame 9, ball 1. Ball 2. Whatever. There's that new Masons action, taking a real crap ball, turning it into a 9, and the bowling god letting us know. So, last frame, ball 1. Let's see if keeping it in the right hand instead of switching it over helps. Ball 2, we gotta mark it. We may have been saved by the bell. Let's find out. El Stinko, the bonus ball. That many, I don't know why I can count. That many will get us to barely acceptable. And that game was total garbage. Well, it was good till El Stinko lived up to its ugly name. We got the 9 and 1, 9 and 9. Let's try and even get speech. Then we got a spare and 10. El Stinko lived up to its name. There seems to be a colored pin in the rack. You know, we have a little fun with that. 77. So, yep, that game is junk. Before we get to the third game, let's do a little bit of Did You Know? Did you know nearly half of the subscriber base for King of the Palace came from this series? It had a pretty good following, but once Watch Me Suck at Bowling started to sponsor it and promote it, their numbers went through the roof. And still have been until recently during the pandemic. When it comes back, hopefully it'll continue. Did you know some fans of this show wanted to see a live recording session of King of the Palace? Some have not, mostly because of the pandemic or because of the distance involved, time, money. But some fans of this show have come to King of the Palace just to see what it was all about, and they enjoyed it. It is a good show. The series also got people to come here and try candlepin bowling, or in locations where it is an option. This series, along with other things on YouTube, have got people to go and record their games and post them. And in some cases, they've even parodied this show, whether or not it's a series or a one-off or an occasional thing. That's pretty good. Even if it wasn't from this show, or if some of this stuff actually came from other sources. It's all good. And speaking of all good, we know the second game wasn't, but could the third game save this and make it a winning session? Let's find out. Last game for this particular episode, frame 1, ball 1. Let's see if we can crack 200. That's not asking for too much, is it? Ball 2, apparently it is. Ball 3, good ball, but hey, look who's doing it. Alright, we get a decent 8 to start. Frame 2, ball 1. Last ball, those things screw me up, so whatever. $10. Alright, after that we got an 8 and 1, and I believe a 10 and 2. I say that typically the scoring is a result of, editing, but if I have miscalculated and that was the second ball under ICB rules, if you reset early, it counts as finished. Frame 3, ball 1. You've seen enough of my live events. Every time I self-serve, I lose track of everything. Ball 2. The only thing I fix in the editing is scoring errors. Ball 3. Getting better, or the bowling gods ignoring me and letting me have fun? That's a 10. Frame 4, ball 1. Ball 2. Ball 3. I got screwed, then the bowling gods looked away and got the 10. Alright. Whether it's true or false, at worst case, we've got ourselves a microwave turkey dinner with 3 10s in a row. We are at 38, worst case. And again, scoring errors we fix. Frame 5, ball 1. Ball 2, I hit the object and it's too full. For those of you who don't know, full means I hit it too much in the center. That's a myth about bowling. You don't aim for the center. Candlepin, you want to be like an inch to the side. But that's what happens. Ball 3, go for the easy 2. That was a bit off, but we got the 8. Frame 6, ball 1. it is. Ball 2. Regardless of the bowling, kids, remember, hitting it in the center, not good. Ball 3. Well, it's a spread eagle. 7. If it ain't bad bowling, it's bad luck. Got a decent 8 and 5, and then the 7 and 6. 53. Frame 7, ball 1. Ball 2. Ball 3. Would not have counted because it hit the wood in the gutter first. Still a 9. Frame 8, ball 1. Well, the strike streak doesn't die. Took the last game to do it. I'm okay with it. Where is you? There you is. Those 2 frames were pretty good. We got the 9 and 7, and finally, a strike. The 3rd mark in this entire 3-game series. We got that strike in 8. We are at 72 with 2 stinkos to come. Frame 9, ball 1. 2 El Stinko the bonus balls. What will they add up to? I have got a double strike here when it was much harder to play. Doubt I'll get it. Let's make a good bonus though. Ball 2, worst case 9 fill. I don't know why I had to check that piece of wood. I mean, it just limped over and stopped. That's plenty behind that line. On the strike, a spare. Last frame, ball 1, El Stinko the bonus ball. What will the bonus be? To guarantee that many numbers in my score, El Stinko needs to be at least that. We'll take that. That's a 7 fill. Ball 2. Good way to end this particular episode. How much higher can we push it into the hundreds? Ball 3. That ball was too thin. And again, for those of you that don't really know, too thin means I hit it way too far to the side and it didn't make the contact that you want. So, 1-0 something. And it ends with a 9. Well, we end on a high note, which is kind of strange. We got the 7 in 9. Well, actually, it was the spare. And then we got a 9 in 10. The first 7 falling on ball 1. Yeah, the spare came from the strike. Anyway, we end with a total of 274 for the triple, which is kind of bounce back. And a 108. And getting hundreds here at Mason's, for me, that's kind of impressive. We will definitely take that. So that being said, that's episode 1 of Watch Me Suck at Bowling, celebrating 5 years of doing no better. at Mason's, Leominster, Massachusetts. This is George F551 saying hope you enjoyed and have a good one.